Let's talk about some drama. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 352 of Opinions May Vary. I'm your host, JR. I'm my co-host with me, Alex.
Hello.
I missed you.
Aw.
It's really cold, and that's my weekly update. That's how it's been. I bought a snowblower. Did I tell you I bought a snowblower?
Yeah.
I bought a snow thrower.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Cub Cadet. It's yellow. And I started it the other day, and I haven't been able to use it. I actually want it to snow.
Yeah, you said that to me because I was like, I got a new car. It's all-wheel drive. I need an all-wheel drive car. And you go,
Right.
Don't you? We both kind of want it to snow so we could use the thing. And I go, no. I never said that.
I betrayed myself.
That's not what I want.
I just want to use my snowblower once, and then I never want it to snow again. But I started it up the other day in my shed. It's a big engine. Did you know that bigger engines, bigger than my lawnmower, spews out a lot of exhaust? Like,
It's not like
really quickly.
It's not like you're going to be in there running it for an hour.
But like within seconds, it was like, it's hard to breathe in this shed with the door wide open.
Wow.
My wife's like trying to open the windows. She's like, I'm just going to leave. I was like, okay, I'm just going to stay in here and watch it run for a few more minutes.
Huh.
Anyways, joining us this week is our kind of expert in a way. There's some drama going on, and I was like, you know what, man, I want to shoot the shit, talk some drama with my man Ken. We've had two of the LCO alum 2 weeks in a row. Colin was on last week for an Unplugged recap. So we're going to have to get Zach on soon, I guess. It's coming up on a year anyways. I think last time we had Zach on was just... When did Zach with the hand?
Yeah.
When was that?
I don't think that was winter.
No, that was a little bit... Yeah, it was about a year ago.
It was cold. I remember that.
Yeah.
We went to Chipotle, and it was cold.
It was about a year ago.
So I guess we're coming up on the revisit. Anyways, Ken's here. Thank you so much for coming on.
I like being referred
bring
to
back LCO.
as an expert on anything, really.
You're my resident expert in the fighting game community, man. Like, those are your episodes.
I do.
We have you pigeonholed for that one. You're not allowed to talk about anything else.
That's for the best.
We were talking about, like, he has a pretty good knowledge of, I say he's right in front of me, and I'm not even addressing him. Good knowledge of comics, like a shocking knowledge of comics. Sometimes I forget that you used to read comics before Bendis ruined them for you.
That's another episode.
That's another like series of episodes.
It's just a one-man podcast.
Yep.
Why I hate Bendis.
Dude, I'll listen to that. And I like
30
Bendis.
episode
I don't have a problem with
I'll
Bendis.
get Ken Burns to do a documentary on why I hate Brian Michael Bendis.
What you didn't realize is that when he did Secret Invasion, if you rewind like 5 years, he planted the seed for that in like Avengers 1.
Shut it off. Shut it off.
Shut down the podcast. This is the final episode.
There's a twinge of green in Tony Stark. You didn't catch that? I can't believe you guys didn't catch that.
No, I didn't catch that. I thought it was just bad ink.
So the new Captain Marvel, that's all Bendis then, right? That's all him? I didn't know he was the one who did Secret Invasion.
To be honest, I don't remember either.
Right, I don't know. I didn't read. I just recently started getting, like, I've been buying a lot more Marvel books.
All right, it's fighting games.
Fighting games. The FGC, the fighting game community. Ken plays a lot of fighting games, and typically in the past when he comes on, we talk about fighting games, and today is no exception. Ken has competed at 2 EVOs. Two of them.
Big time.
Dose EVOs, that's 2 more EVOs than me and Alex combined.
I earned it by logging on to my computer and signing up.
And paying money.
And then flying to Las Vegas.
Hey, man, I've never done that.
Yeah.
I've entered in my life two tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
One, they were both Smash Brothers. And the first tournament was awful. Me and Joe, it was a doubles tournament. I was in a team with Joe. I suicided twice. We lost in the first round. It's literally one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. Like, when I think about it, like, I turn red, and it's just awful.
You know what? It's nerve-wracking.
You hate it. It really is. I couldn't believe how nervous I was. I was playing against 2 people that I just spent the entire summer working with, but there's a crowd of people behind me watching me play.
Yeah.
This has never happened before. And we were playing in the Hall of Justice on the big screen, and I choked real hard. Joe almost ran it back, but alas. And then I entered a Smash Bros. Tournament at my old community college way back in the day. I grinded it too, playing against level 9 computers all day long, grinding out victories. Show up there's no tournament. There was just, there was nothing. And like I like kind of, because it was later at like MCC and I don't know, some conference room or whatever, and no one was there. It just either I missed it or it didn't happen.
Oh.
It just, yep. And that's the extent of my fighting game tournament experience.
My first tournament I ever entered was for Soul Calibur 2. It was at an arcade called Fun and Games up in Framingham. I don't think the arcade is there anymore, Framingham, Mass.
Rip.
And I remember being so nervous, my hands shaking. It was in everyone's watching. It's all on one arcade machine, so everybody's watching you play this one match. And I was playing against somebody who would become a friend of mine. I hadn't met him before that day though, so he would I didn't even know who this guy was. And I was so nervous. All I could do was just the same move over and over again. And it wasn't because I was trying to just be lame. It's just all my brain could fathom is to just do. And it's like all my brain knew was it keeps working. Let's just keep doing that. And I beat him, and I moved on to the next round. I never beat him ever again.
If I can just do this Voldo rush slash
the crab walk
four times until I ring out the guy, then that's all I need.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they can't adapt to overcome,
Voldo just has the side step, and he's up swings, and he just does his clash a 3.5 or so should ring out.
Yeah, but the Colin is probably screaming to himself right now as I sit here saying, "If you can't adapt to my style, that's your fault." As I bitch and moan about Colin using counters in Smash.
Don't even get this entire episode could be about my problem with sword characters. This is
with swordies.
Oh, the counters.
So there's a lot going on in the fighting game world right now. Alex, you're shaking your head.
Well, I had a real bad joke, but
for another maybe afterwards.
Okay.
Afterwards. Just no. I don't want you to embarrass
yourself. Were they
yourself.
marble?
Hmm?
The counters, are they marble or are they?
Oh God, I hate you so much. You should have left it. You had the opportunity to leave it.
You didn't have to address it.
He was giving you the out, and you were just like marble counters.
we just lost a few listeners.
Get out of my room while we're podcasting, Dad.
The fighting game community, there's been a lot of chatter in the past week or so. Obviously, big games coming out, big tournaments coming up. Awards season is upon us. If you want to say there's an awards season for video games, there kind of is.
I mean, it's the end of the year. It's definitely that time. Yeah.
So, we mentioned Smash. I guess we can start with Smash. The new Smash came out. That was pretty cool. So then Street Fighter. I'm just kidding. We're going to talk a little more.
And we're
done. The new Smash came out. I kept my streak going of midnight releases, I guess. Except this midnight release, I sat at my home and I just waited for the download to unlock.
Yeah, isn't midnight release so much different now?
The first ever midnight release that I ever went to in my life was for Brawl, and it was really awkward. So I brought my girlfriend at the time, and she was just kind of she was being a supportive girlfriend. And got to give her credit for that. She was really cool about it. She didn't call me a loser or anything, even though that's what I was being.
To your face.
Didn't want to talk to anyone. There were people inside playing Smash, a little mini tournament. I'm just waiting outside, waiting for the game. Just give me the damn game. And I didn't even play it that night because I wanted to play it with Joe. So I got the game, went home, went to bed, and then I went up to go see Joe because he was in college at the time.
Yeah.
And I spent the weekend up in his dorm room. We played Brawl all weekend.
Are they still events and stuff, or
some
is it just
some
not?
stores do, but I think my local GameStop wasn't doing anything.
Because we have a mutual who painted herself, did a whole cosplay as Cortana for one of the Halo releases.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep. Wait, actually, Ken knows her too.
And that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean midnight releases used to be a thing. They're not so much anymore. I think every now and then you might get a local game shop or a GameStop putting something on, but
especially with the advent of just because I downloaded the game hours before it even came out.
Also,
you can download the game, but it just won't work if you try to open it.
Huh.
It connects to the internet. It's testing to see if this game is available.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people pre-order through Amazon now, and they just get the game delivered
Doorstep,
to them, so you don't have to go anywhere, which it's really the dream. No
It's
one wants to actually.
It's a pretty beautiful
socialize.
thing. Because when Smash came out for the 3DS, Colin and Joe slept over my apartment and we played all night long. And then when Smash 4 came out for the Wii U, Joe and I went to the midnight release. That was an actual. We went to the store and got it.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one, Colin again spent the night at my place and we played Smash all the live long day. But we didn't start playing until like 12:20 because the servers were dead and everyone was freaking out and everyone's just clicking over and over again to play the game, and no one could. But Smash came out. It is pretty great so far. That's my official review. Pretty great. Put that up on the website. Pretty great.
Pretty great out of great.
And with new games, great out of great. Yeah, pretty great out of great. Would play again. I ruined your joke. And with the new game comes plenty of hype and a little bit of drama. And like I'm in that delicious drama mode right now. I'm just eating it up.
There is,
even though
there's
kind of
a lot. Like we talked about it. We were actually talking about it last night, and it occurred to me that there's actually a strange amount of like drama going on. And with the release of Smash, there is always the bashing of heads of the two camps. There's the highly competitive Smash, and then there is the more casual crowd.
Yeah,
you know, and I
we're
think
like in between.
I definitely say so. I definitely
every now and then we'll turn on Pokeballs. You know.
Yeah, I do love. Hey, I was telling Colin the other day that when I was a kid, Nintendo 64, Super Smash Brothers, the way we played at my house was the only items that were turned on were a sprinkling of like some of the items, but then Pokeballs are turned up to max.
Oh yeah, Pokeballs, so just baseball
Pokeballs
bats.
just rained because I just liked throwing the Pokeballs.
Yep.
I liked getting B-drill.
It's like, what are you gonna get? You never know.
Yeah,
it was just really neat, and like they did it. There's a new version of like with the assist trophies. So like, I'll sometimes turn on Pokeballs assist trophies, maybe a beam sword here and there, maybe a baseball bat if I want to hit some home runs, some dingers. But there's kind of a divide right now with the hyper competitive community and the casual community, because when you play Smash at a very competitive level, it gets kind of stripped down to its most like basic form. It's just it's 1-on-1, no items, 2 people just duking it out on a mostly neutral stage for the most part. Like, especially with Smash 4, it's just a lot of flat surfaces, maybe a moving platform, maybe Battlefield. I don't even know if Battlefield was in Smash 4 or if they played it in Smash 4.
It was. And it was.
I know it was in the game. I just don't know if they used it competitively.
They did. No, they did.
Whereas like in Melee, they used a couple stages that had like gimmicks in a way. Like, Dreamland had the wind that would blow, and Yoshi's Island had like the clouds. Like, it has a name. I can't remember its name.
Yeah.
But there were a couple things here and there.
It's everybody who knows Smash knows it's the way, I guess you could say, that Sakurai, the director of Smash Brothers, intended the game to be, is chaotic.
It's a party game.
It's a party game.
It's not. They don't like it being played competitively.
No, Nintendo has.
Like, that was the big thing with Evo when they brought it back, and then Nintendo was like, no, you can't stream this game. We're not going to let you. And it was a big like fundraising thing and backlash, and Nintendo was like, fucking fine. Jesus.
Yeah, and so competitive players, like you were saying, they try to control that chaos as much as possible by, they will. The new Smash has how many stages?
Oh, I haven't counted, but many.
I think
the screen is enormous.
It's like 50, isn't it?
It's a lot. I think it's more than 50, to be honest.
I could literally boot it up right now.
Yeah,
it switches right next to me.
It's a ton. It's a ton. I can't even to be honest.
What's like a 10 by 10? Is that 100?
That's 100.
I think there actually might be like 108 stages. I think that for some reason that number is popping in my head, 108. And the thing is, like, obviously a lot of those stages are a lot of fun, but they have stage hazards. They have things that can kill you, things that obviously affect the match. So what competitive Smash will do is they'll cut out a lot of those stages to the ones that are most controlled.
Yeah.
Like JR was talking about, there's a option in Smash where you can just take the stage and enjoy the aesthetics of the stage, but it's just either a flat or a Battlefield version, and a Battlefield version is flat with three platforms kind of in a triangle.
Yeah.
Which in and of itself, in a game that the platform is such a big deal, can actually have a big effect on matchups in general. So
no one plays that Metroid one where it fills with lava and shit.
No.
Right, yeah.
No,
the vintage
that's not even an option.
Or like Big Blue, where you're on the ship and it moves.
Yep.
And
the cannon fires at you.
Yeah.
Understandably, a lot of the more casual crowd have this criticism towards this. They're like, you're not playing the way that it was intended. And recently, and the person has since deleted the tweet, as JR found, but recently there was a tweet that went around, made its rounds, where somebody basically called into question the actual talent and skill level of professional Smash players because they don't play the game as most would say it was intended, that they try to control it as much as possible. And that caused a big ruckus.
A stir. And like you said, I mean, he's since he deleted it. He has initially he what you said called into question their talent and abilities. I saw this because Hungrybox retweeted it and replied to it. Hungrybox is I'm a big HBox. I'm not part of the HBox fam. I haven't subbed, but I'm not part of the H fam. I think that's what they're called.
Like
yeah, I mean I follow him on Twitch. I just haven't subbed. But he tweeted, "Yeah, man, we should make LeBron have to wear a lead apron and randomly make the basketball bounce between 41 to 76% as high as usual, and cover the court in vegetable oil on Saturdays only if he really wants to prove that he's the best. Who'd want to watch hyper-controlled basketball anyway?" And like he did. The man who originally tweeted said, "Just in case it's not clear, I'm being sincere. I shouldn't have implied professional players weren't good. I was in a sour mood this morning, and I let that fuck up what I was trying to say. I'm just fucking up all over this topic today. Sorry for shooting my mouth off about competitive Smash. I'll learn more about this before I say anything else dumb. Thank you to everyone who has been helpful in providing explanations and links." So, respect, that's cool. If you, but he also had a little bit of a point.
Yeah.
Some might be able to argue, it's hard to, some people just don't find it fun to be like, yo man, no items. We can only pick from these 7 stages, even though there's hundreds of them available. And that's the only way I Smash. And I'm going to pick Falco every time.
And I mean, there's even been instances where characters that you can pick have been, like in Brawl.
Was Meta Knight banned in Brawl?
Meta Knight was banned in Brawl.
Because he was OP. He won every turn.
He was extremely good, and Meta Knight was banned in Brawl. And Bayonetta in Smash 4, the iteration that came prior to Ultimate, Bayonetta towed the line between being banned, and we live in a time now when there's actual balance changes made to games. Mm-hmm. So Bayonetta was nerfed, but yeah, she towed the line. And
remember Evo? Was it Evo last year, where the two guys playing the Bayo Dittos were just messing around, and
it was
everyone
the
got
last
pissed?
Evo for Smash 4, and yeah, it actually that caused a ruckus. You want to talk about drama? You had it was the grand finals of a game at Evo, the most
prestigious.
One of the most prestigious, if not the most prestigious, tournament for fighting games in general, not just Smash. You had the grand finals, and it happened to be 2 Bayonetta players, because again, Bayonetta is very good in that game, and they kind of made a joke of it, where they kind of stalled out, and they weren't really actually trying to fight each other, and a lot of people, they laughed at it, but at the core, it's kind of like, this is your competitors. People want to watch competition. Mm-hmm. That's why we have this event going on. It kind of sullied the spirit of the event and why you were there. And that caused a bit of a stir. And I was actually kind of surprised to see some people take the stance they did and kind of defend it. I wasn't a big fan of it. Not that I'm some old traditionalist when it comes to anything competition wise, but it was kind of like, come on,
No one watches like a finals competitive event to watch the equivalent of like their niece or nephew look up and spin in a circle.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. No one wants to see the Generals play against the Harlem Globetrotters in the grand finals. Like you want to see a competitive match. You don't want to see just messing around. Like
yeah.
There's a time and place for it, but that wasn't it. But flash forward to now Smash Ultimate is out, and it's almost like the conversation starts again. We've got, like I said, the casual versus the competitive community, and the competitive community they are what they are.
So do they just not get along?
It's more just, obviously Smash is popular and sells well because of what it is at its core. I mean, it's a celebration of Nintendo and its characters, and now it's become a celebration of video games in general. And
it also brings a lot of because we all grew up on it. Like
Yeah.
it came out for the 64.
The we all. It's
Yeah, the educated people in the room.
oh.
I'm just kidding. Remember when some guy called me uncultured for not seeing Lord of the Rings? That was the joke I was trying to get there.
Who was that?
This guy I used to work with. You know him. But you know, like we grew up with Smash. Like the N64 came out like we're in like the peak of our childhood. You know, was it 96? I think.
Yeah.
And you know, I was 10. Perfect timing.
I was 10, 11 years old.
And you know, we grew up with this game, and you get to the point where everyone thinks they're the best at Smash. Oh, I'm the best in my friend, like my friends group. I'm the best at Smash. And then when you see these people who play Smash at a level that you can't even fathom, like that's what it is for me. It's like I love this game. I wish I was better at the game, but like I'll always play it. I'll always have fun playing it. But then when I see someone who's just like a literal god at the game, it just it's more engrossing to me, I guess, in a way. Like I love, and it's weird because it's only with certain versions of it too. Because like Melee, I could watch competitive Melee all day. Smash 4, boring as shit. Put me to sleep.
Yeah.
Like I can't like. Was it like 2 stocks? Like are you like? Come on, man! Like it doesn't even feel competitive. Like oh, he's already dead. He lost. There's a little bit of a chance he might come back, but for the most part, like
it was a lot of very slow gameplay. In
Yeah.
that one.
I couldn't get into, but like Melee, I like for some reason, man, I just and Melee wasn't even a game that I played a lot of like with my friends. That was I mostly played Melee by myself because I was the only friend that had a GameCube. Like I didn't know anyone else with a GameCube.
What year did Melee come out?
2001, I believe.
I mean, it's 2018, and there's people still playing it competitively on a regular basis.
There's massive tournaments like
continuously.
I don't know if they're going to be at EVO. Like it's always like is Melee going to be back? Looks like it came North America in 2001. But like they have huge like Big House and
they have
I think it's a CEO
events that are dedicated solely to Smash, and for a while they were Melee because Brawl was okay. It didn't really get a lot of traction, and Smash 4 made a bit of a comeback, but I mean, I feel like Ultimate's definitely the biggest one and has the best chance at kind of... That's the other strange thing about Smash, is we talk about there's the casual and the competitive. Even the competitive is split. There's Melee players, and then there's whatever the most recent Smash is players. Yeah. And there's not a lot of intermingling amongst the two, and there's a lot of butting heads just within those two communities, because you, from the outside looking in, you'd think, it's the same game. Wouldn't you all get along?
Right.
No.
What's the order? For people who might not know any better.
Smash 64 was the first one.
Okay.
And then Melee on the GameCube was the second one.
Uh-huh.
Brawl on the Wii was the third one. Smash 4 on the Wii U.
Okay.
And then Smash Ultimate.
I don't realize Melee and Brawl was that far apart.
Yeah, I mean, it was the next console from the GameCube to the Wii.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Right? It went GameCube and then Wii. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to forget that the Wii came out over 10 years ago, right?
That is.
The GameCube also had a bit of a long lifespan.
Despite the fact that it's like criminally underrated.
I mean, talking to a guy who sold his GameCube a month after he got it, so...
I only got a GameCube because I got it used at Media Play. Remember Media Play?
Yeah,
I do.
I was a big fan.
I do.
And I sit here saying the GameCube's criminally underrated, having owned like 4 games for it ever. But it was just a fun console. I like my GameCube controller is one of my most prized gaming possessions because I've had it since I got the console and I've used it for every iteration of Smash and all that, and I can still use it on my Switch, my Switch. It's called a Switch. I was like, wait, no, I got the wrong console. It's
my game box.
Yeah, my handheld
my
thingy.
Nintendo game box.
I can still they keep catering to it. They don't have to. They could use the damn new controllers, you assholes. But no, they're like, you can use the old one. Cuz like they put the ports on the Wii.
Hey. Why wouldn't they want us to use the old one? Because they can charge us another $25 in case we lost our old one.
Yeah.
And charge me another $20 for an
adapter.
So I can...
They still sell those?
They still like new one.
Yeah.
Like luckily the adapter for the Wii U
Yeah.
works on the Switch, which is pretty amazing if you ask me.
So if you owned a Wii U, all 5 of you,
hey,
you're
man,
in luck.
That's not fair. Two of the 3 people in this room owned a Wii U.
All right. Well, for the other 3 people out here,
The first time Ken and I ever gamed together, we played Splatoon, but it was in complete silence. There was no
Because
chat.
the Wii U, Nintendo's such a weird company, man. The Nintendo, in some ways, is so great, and I love them. And in some ways, they are like just stuck perpetually 10 years behind every other gaming company.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The Wii U had online capability. You could play with people and have a lot of fun. There was no voice capability, none. And so, yeah, you could play with your friends and play a fun game like Splatoon. But you can't talk to them.
Unless you have like Discord or something.
Yeah, if you had
But, like,
Discord on a laptop or on your phone, like sitting next to you.
This is at a time when Ken and I had spoken like 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
We had seen each other like twice, but we were friends on Wii U. We were friends
I
through
think
that
you were
network.
my only friend.
Yeah, right. I was a lot of people's only friend, and because I was, yo, you got Wii U, let's friend each other. We'll never play anything, but like,
Because before
remember-
Splatoon, there really wasn't anything.
yeah, that was pretty like aside from Smash, but like I remember seeing Ken online playing Splatoon, and so I was like, oh, I'll join up. I'll try and queue up in his thing. And like we played like 3 rounds together, and then like the next one boots up, and Ken wasn't in my group, so I was like, okay, I guess Ken's done.
That's cute that you guys splatted together.
We did splat it. There was at least one match we were against each other, so we were splatting all over each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the other times we were splatting others,
Yeah.
as
Together.
a team.
Yeah.
As a team.
That's a big reason why I stopped playing DC Universe Online, because that was up my alley. It was an MMO. It's on console, and there's no voice chat.
Yep.
Yeah,
And, like,
it takes.
I don't have a
that.
keyboard. I'm not gonna. So if I have to interact with other players, I gotta bring up the typing menu.
If it's a team-based game, you got to have some sort of functional voice chat. Like now, mind you, if it's we're talking fighting
This was
games.
also like at least 5 years ago. So no, longer. The game still runs. They
I
still
mean,
have.
it's still
I was playing Halo 3 with voice chat back in 2000,
yeah.
2008,
It's like-
2009.
What I mean, like they might have corrected it by now, but I don't
Right.
know. I don't know if it's worth getting back into. But anyway,
Yeah, but like we're talking fighting games. Like I still
Yeah.
play Tekken 7 and Soul Calibur 5, and I don't want to talk to the person I'm playing against.
no, yeah,
I don't want to deal with that.
No.
They don't want
No.
to deal with me because the things I'm saying about them in the privacy of my own home, we don't want to share that.
I don't think the Lord wants to hear that.
No.
That's
When
He's hearing it anyway.
when I used to play Revolutions, I would be on voice chat sometimes, and like what I loved was hearing the kid complain about me grabbing him because I'd use King, and I'd go for a grab and I'd do some move and then I'd do more moves later on. He's like, "Quit grabbing, yo!" And I'm like, "All you want to do is juggle me in the air for like 5 minutes."
Hey man, you're both
It's-
playing the game. You're both playing the game.
so
So I don't.
Smash comes out.
I don't understand why people get mad at each other over a game.
Because they have nothing better to do, and they feel that their
They
way is
can't-
the best, and they refuse to believe that anything might be different.
It's a point of pride.
I'm not. I've gotten to a point where I understand. Like when I read comic books, I'm gonna put them in the bag and put them in a box,
Right.
and they're gonna sit there forever. And I'm not the guy who's gonna buy my comic book and like read it over lunch and spill my food on it and then fold it and have it put it in my pocket to walk to my car.
Mm.
And then like loan it, just hand it off to my kid or something like that. Like those are two different things, but like I'm not gonna get mad at the other person to do it opposite from what I'm doing.
What if someone came at you and said, "Yo, the way you play Overwatch sucks. The only pure way to play it is unlimited. Anyone can play as Bastion. Is like you can have 6 Bastions." Would you be like, "Dude, that's stupid"?
Yeah.
I mean, this is obviously an extreme version, but like even people who are just like, "No, I think unlimited is the correct way to play. You should be able to have as many
You
characters."
should only play deathmatch in Overwatch or something.
You should only play. Even like the Halo days. Like I used to only play deathmatch because I sucked at objective. Like I can't play CTF or oddball. I was just bad at it. But
This is where I really liked Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefront 2. The old ones, not the newer ones. Because there's a lot of objectives on those.
right.
But I like that.
Well, like I said, to me, it's a point of pride. It's about what people think is
The way I
is
do it is the best.
the best. Yes, is the best way. That it is the way to best show my skill.
Mhm.
And like that, I think this is like a good segue into
They were just mad that someone might be better than them and the other way to play.
well, no, exactly, because we're like, oh, well, if we played my way, this would be how I'd do it.
If I got the smash ball, you'd be done, son.
And it transcends all games. It transcends all games. You should see. So we're talking fighting games, or we're talking Smash, and a lot of people might consider like, oh, if I'm talking Smash, I'm also talking Street Fighter and Tekken and Mortal Kombat and Soul Calibur and all the other fighting games. But there's actually a divide between Smash and all the other fighting games.
Oh yeah.
And there's butting of heads between that, and which games take more skill, and to watch the discourse. I mean, we live in social media. To watch the discourse happen on Twitter
live,
it's both entertaining and at times like very disappointing.
Yeah,
like to see like people actually try to justify what is the better like show of skill, like which game. It's like they're all very different. They're all very fun, and it gets kind of ridiculous to bite each other's head off about it all. And recently there was even so the Game Awards just went by. We talked about it's the end of the year. The Game Awards just went by, and one of the awards was eSports Player of the Year, because we live in a time of e-athletes, and you can be you can be a professional gamer now. Like that is a profession that you can go into and make a living doing it.
I saw a tweet the other day. It was like, we're getting to the point where in a couple years, dads are going to be saying,
we're already there.
I could have gone pro, man, if I just did this.
We're already there. I remember a little while back I was perusing the Overwatch Reddit, and somebody had posted a thread asking how would they actually get their child involved in becoming a pro Overwatch player. And it was one of those things where it was genuine. It was an actual genuine thread. The person was looking for actual genuine advice about the path to take, because they had learned that their son was indeed top rated. Like they looked it up, because you can go on to overbuff.com and look at actually how good you are stacked up statistics wise against other players. And sure enough, they were one of the top ranked like Zenyatta's in the world.
Right.
And so they were like, my son has shown an interest. I want to support him, and I also want to do it the right way. How do I do this? And people were guiding them. We're already there.
With good advice.
Yes,
That's
with
nice.
actual legitimate advice. And, Blizzard has formulated a system where you can actually grow through the ranks and work your way up feasibly to the Overwatch League. You can find yourself on a team. So, I mean, we're there.
At
we're
some point
there.
this summer, I don't remember exactly what the time frame was, but NPR on the radio was talking about parents looking for tutors or to coach their kids at Fortnite or whatever.
Yep. If we get into the Fortnite conversation, we're not going to, but
no, we're not. But it's like even news was talking about coaching people at playing games.
Yeah. And I mean, at first,
and how much that costs.
At first listen, I can hear the boomers. I can hear the boomers saying like, "Oh, how ridiculous is that? They're playing video games. Like these are we have people who play children's games, like football and basketball and baseball, and they get paid millions upon millions, hand over fist, to play these games.
They can break laws.
And there was
no. You know what? We're gonna keep paying you millions.
Yep. And
it's nice
and there was a time when that idea was also ridiculous.
Yeah, it's nice that you and your friends got the stickball out in the alley in New York. That's cute. But then someone got really good at that.
Yep. And then to the point where people went, I want to watch you play that because you're so good at it. And I remember way back when, because people forget Halo 2 used to be on USA on Saturday morning. MLG used to be on USA, broadcast it was super early in the morning on Saturdays or something like that. But and I remember an interview 4 or 5 years ago that ESPN, it's just a panel of old white guys, and they're all saying this is stupid. It's a bunch of pimple-faced nerds, just in their mom's basement. All the stupid, shitty stereotypes that they fire off every single time the conversation comes up. And now look at it, dude. You cannot deny the rise of esports and how it's fucking taking over everything. Like, look at Ninja on any given night and see how many people are watching him play Fortnite, including myself because I'm an idiot. Apparently,
Epic Games, the makers of Fortnite, are making more money than they actually admittedly know how to do with. They're giving money away because they're like, we are making so much, we want to try to foster some other things. So, you know, we're gonna give it away. They're giving it away to developers to make their own games. Yeah, because they're just like, what else are we gonna do with this money? So they're trying to, like, I mean, good on them. And shoot, they hit the they hit the lottery with Fortnite.
They should just build rockets and spaceships and stuff. You know,
Probably, yeah. Fortnite on the moon, real life Fortnite on
Mars.
the moon.
Mars.
it's Venus actually. Thanks. That's why
Wow.
the sky's purple.
Wow.
Duh.
Okay. You can't feasibly live on Venus though.
So yeah, esports player of the year,
SonicFox.
SonicFox. So for those who don't know who SonicFox is, real name is Dominique, and I'm forgetting his last name.
Dominique McLean.
Dominique SonicFox McLean. He
The ripe age of 20.
Yep.
If you wanted to feel old.
I think. Well, I think I remember
The
first
guy's
hearing
a
about
living
SonicFox,
legend, and he's
it would have been
20.
like 4 or 5 years ago. So SonicFox, I think, first like really burst onto the scene back when he was like 16 or 17 years old, easily. He started to rise with Mortal Kombat 9, and then Injustice, and then Mortal Kombat 10, and then Injustice 2, and he also started to kind of spread his wings out into other fighting games, and he really took hold during this past year when Dragon Ball FighterZ took hold and was really big, and he shot straight up to the top and immediately had rivalries with all the top Japanese players and became undoubtedly the top player in Dragon Ball FighterZ, which was for a good amount of this year the top fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of, in terms of fighting games and in terms of esports, became a household name. So he won esports player of the year, and his speech was and I'm going to paraphrase here. I encourage people to look it up. His speech was short, but he basically pointed out the fact that he is black, he is gay, and he is a furry. And yet he accomplished this. He's standing on this stage, accepting this award, and it was, for me, fighting games especially have always been something that is very, some would argue it's not, but I also think it's a very inclusive space, fighting games in general. So for him to stand up there and, you know, tell people like, this is who I am, and be comfortable in that, I think it was very good on him to do so. The fallout of that was, some people obviously had a problem with the things that he was touting as good, and I'm not really going to go into discourse. I think people should know that anybody who has a problem with that is wrong. But keeping it in terms of games, people were upset that a fighting game player won esports player of the year. Because you have the other prominent esports games are Counter-Strike, CSGO, League of Legends. You've got Overwatch. You've got Dota, Defense of the Ancients, the MOBA.
Is that what Dota means? Did I know that?
Yeah, Defense of the Ancients.
Anyways.
I mean, I could give you a little quick history lesson on Dota, but I won't.
It's probably for the best.
But Dota is, of course, Dota is kind of one of the original, like, huge esports. I'd say, like, Dota, StarCraft, and I think Halo were the kind of the first games that really showed people that, you know, this could become something bigger than it is now. And Dota's still going strong. But a lot of people started coming out of the woodwork and basically just criticizing the choice of SonicFox because he was just a fighting game player. And similar to how just within fighting games and just within Smash, there's these arguments after who is most skilled. You had people saying how, like, oh, Counter-Strike, you know, takes thousands of hours to master, and you know, mastering all of the matchups in League of Legends, it takes thousands of hours to master, and basically just downing fighting games as a competitive medium that doesn't take a lot of skill.
Just mash buttons, you'll win eventually.
Which I thought was, I think is a pretty ridiculous sentiment.
Mhm.
On top of that, SonicFox, his success has been predicated on playing multiple games.
Yeah.
Multiple. Like, he got his start with NetherRealm games, and those are very similar. But Dragon Ball FighterZ is
Nothing like it.
leagues different than the NetherRealm Studios games like Mortal Kombat and Injustice. They're very different. And while the fundamentals may be somewhat similar, they are vastly different in terms of mechanics and speed and actual gameplay. Vastly different.
It's the kind of thing where you have to be kind of good at something to find the differences, whereas someone who just doesn't know anything about video games will not understand. If I introduce this to my brother, who, bless him, sometimes when he tries to connect and be like, oh, what games do you like? And I'm like, we don't have to do this. And but he loves like Battle Turbo Thumbs, just sit there and get fat. It's like, great, just talk about fishing or something and I'll tune out. If you play him in front of Street Fighter and Injustice and Smash, he won't tell a difference.
They're all Nintendo games. What you got on the Nintendo?
There was one day I was playing Smash and he goes, is that Diddy Kong? And I go, how did you know that? Like, I was angry. I'm like,
who told you Diddy
Explain
Kong?
yourself.
how'd you learn this? This is ridiculous. But, you know, learning that like there's different engines that drive these and there's different mechanics and just the format of how it's run and what goes into, you know, how they're recorded or punched or just all. Yeah, they're all really different.
And if like the main thing I bring up, like, you know, oh well, you know, it's just fighting games. Okay, if it were that easy, as you're saying,
Do it.
everyone would be doing it. Yeah, do it. Let's see you go pro. Let's see you head up. You know, take on Echo Fox in a not Echo Fox. That's a team. Take on SonicFox in a one-on-one of Fighter Z. See how well you do. We'll even give you like a week to prepare. You can be a pro. It's so easy, dude.
It's funny that you bring up that idea. There have been other players of other games who have tried their hand at fighting games. Dyrus is a well-known League of Legends player.
He plays League, yeah.
I believe he was on Team Solo Mid for a while. I don't think he's still on the main roster Team Solo Mid, but he's still associated with them. He still streams. And for a while, he was considered one of the top players in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying his hand at both Dragon Ball FighterZ and then Tekken 7.
Mm-hmm.
And he fell under fire because he rage quit during stream while playing Tekken 7. And the thing was,
I understand that.
That resonates with me.
Well, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bad sportsmanship. That's poor sportsmanship to pull the plug on a match. It's poor sportsmanship.
It is, but I don't want to admit it.
Yeah, you don't want to admit it.
We've all
but
been
it
there,
is.
man.
Look, I've done it. Like, you know, I'm having a bad night, and you know what? It's not even about this person. It's just about, like, I'm all set.
I'm tilting.
But here's the thing. I do not stream in front of thousands of people.
Right.
Every night.
Yeah.
He was streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And he had also kind of gained the interest of people who play Tekken and other fighting games. They're like, oh, you know, this Dyrus guy is giving it a shot. And it all started off strong.
Mm-hmm.
He apparently like spent his time in training mode and was learning combos and learning like the intricacies of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And his mechanics were apparently very good. And but then as he moved up in ranks, it started to get harder and harder. And he kind of hit a wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, got frustrated and pulled the plug. And so it's, you know, JR was just talking about, like, go ahead, give it a try. Well, some have, and it hasn't always ended up as good as they might think.
Yeah.
I want to do the dumb thing because I already know there's like a better answer for it and do they should have a show or an event where everyone swaps games and like they play against other people that are actually, you know, have a Smash player fight a StarCraft or play against a StarCraft 2 player. Or have an Overwatch, you know, player play against League of Legends and, you know, go back and forth. But then, like, why would they do that? They have their own streams. Why would there ever be an event for this?
Yep.
But yeah, it's all, I don't know. It all just comes down to, it's for some reason, like, humans have this desire to one up one another when it's this tribalistic nature where, oh, this is I'm in the CS:GO tribe. I'm in the League of Legends tribe, and I have to show that my game is the best. I have to show that my top players are the top players.
I'll have you know, I played Warcraft.
When you say Warcraft, do you mean like Warcraft 3?
No, like Warcraft 1, the first one.
Oh.
I played some of 2 as well.
On your Apple II?
Oh, roast them.
I played Warcraft 2, so I'm pretty sure I can grasp mechanics of StarCraft.
Yeah.
And like really just crank that out and hit.
I mean, I'm sure you could grasp the
championship
mechanics.
Yeah, you could be a Grandmaster in StarCraft.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you
Why
could grasp the
couldn't I?
mechanics. Yeah, absolutely.
It's simple. If,
Yeah,
if these 20-year-old nerds can do it,
Just Zerg rush it, man. Just Zerg rush.
just cheese it, bro.
Yeah.
Now, is that the equivalent of what the argument is?
In a way, like I imagine some people take that stance. Like I was good at video games when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I could play it, and I would direct you to the opening scene of the Smash documentary when they had like those 3 guys play against KDJ.
Yeah.
And like he went easy on him for like 3 stocks. Like, oh man, I accidentally killed myself. And then he ended up like taking out all 3 of them with 1 stock.
Yeah.
Like, and it was easy to him. It was no struggle. Like that's and like KDJ at the time, like he's not even top tier. Like he had his time. There was a time when he was the best. But like nowadays, like, Smash has grown so much. Like he's in terms of like pro talent, I wouldn't have put him at the top at the time. Not trying to bash KDJ. Don't get me wrong, guy's a legend. But
one of the joke goes around on memes once in a while every Olympics. They're like, we should put an average Joe in there against the Olympians.
Yeah, just
to show you
to set like the stat like.
Oh yeah, it's. I mean, we're drawing parallels to sports, which it's hard not to draw parallels to sports when you're talking about esports, because obviously, kind of it's where the esports drives the most criticism is from actual people who pay attention to sports, because it's more acceptable to watch football. It's more acceptable to watch baseball. But
I don't think there's that many concussion reports from Evo.
You'd be surprised. It gets crazy. It is Las Vegas, but like we've all sat there and watched an athletic event and then called a world-class athlete a bum. Wow, that guy is so bad. And then for just that second, we forget that person is still a world-class athlete and is the cream of the crop. And the thing is they're going up against the other cream of the crop who is just as good or better. And that's who bested them. They're not a bum by any stretch, but
I have a perfect example of that, where I was watching sports with some sports friends. This is a while ago, maybe like coming up on 10 years ago ish, when I was not too fancy into baseball, a little bit kind of fair weather, if I'm honest. I was watching Tim Wakefield pitch. Tim Wakefield, a famous knuckleballer for the Boston Red Sox. If you've ever seen a knuckleball, really no one throws anymore except like R.A. Dickey. Does he even pitch anymore? I don't even know.
I think he had just as short kind of lifespan.
He was pitching like at least a year or 2 ago.
Actually, R.A. Dickey is funny because he couldn't throw a fastball anymore, so that's why he started throwing knuckleball. Which is actually why a lot of pitchers become a knuckleballer, is because they blow out their arm. But they can still throw. I think I think Tim Wakefield was the same way. I'm
not sure. I just know Tim Wakefield played for the Red Sox. Being a Yankees fan, obviously, I hate Tim Wakefield. Nothing against the man on a personal. Looks like you have a question.
What are knuckleball?
Knuckleball is a type of pitch where when you throw it, you don't put pretty much any rotation on the ball.
Okay.
So they call it a butterfly, like the dancing butterfly, because when the pitch
comes, like when we throw the frisbee in the wind and it just moves up and down.
In a way, yeah. Like knuckleballs, they're like a catcher's nightmare because it's like, oh god, I have to catch a knuckleball. But they're thrown super slow compared to an average fastball. They're thrown at like 60 miles an hour compared to like 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Right.
But and I remember watching Tim Wakefield pitch, and it looks like he's barely even putting anything on it, and he's like striking dudes out, and I'm like, dude, how are these idiots missing this? He's throwing 60. I could hit this. And like my friend turned to me, Greg. He was way back in the day. Greg was a guest on our show. That one time. He turned to me like he's a funny guy. Usually, laugh along with me and stuff. Yeah. Dead in the eye, Jeremy. If Tim Wakefield threw 100 knuckleballs at you, you would hit 0 of them. And I was like, no, I'd probably no. He's like, if you hit one, it would be the biggest fluke in the history of sports. He's like, you would never hit a single pitch he ever throws at you. And then, like, you look into it, you look into knuckleballs and stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, there's a reason why no one throws them, because, like, it's really hard. And if you don't have your stuff, everyone's going to blast you out of the park all day. If it's raining, you're done. Like, you can't throw a knuckleball in the rain. Like, it just negates the pitch in a way, like, because
it's not just about the speed of the pitch, it's the motion. It's the same. It's a similar sense to why a curveball is difficult to hit,
like, instead of, like, if you throw a ball, like, I'm rolling my wrist and it's rolling off my fingers, that's putting rotation on it. A knuckleball, they kind of, like, they claw it and they just kind of push it. It looks so weird. But it was a good comparison of, like, if I played 100 matches against Justin Wong in Street Fighter, I would win 0 of them. Like, that's just how it is, because I'm not a professional. There's a reason why they are at the top. There's a reason why they're considered the best and they win these tournaments.
Maybe he'll get tired and his hand will cramp up.
Yeah, maybe.
And you know what? Maybe. The funny thing about a video game or a fighting game is that everything they're doing, you can do. Like, you can feasibly do.
Yeah. I can do a Shoryuken.
They move right. They throw a Hadouken. You can do all those things. There's just steps. There's just levels that it grows and grows and grows, and it does. It gets to the point where, there's a time where it separates, like, good players from great players and great players from, like, legendary players. It's ridiculous to call anybody. It's just ridiculous to hear anybody say that, like, one takes less skill than the other. And it also, like, it demeans what you do. Why are you, like, we all play game. Your professional career is playing games. Saying that one takes less skill than the other, it's kind of demeaning what you do. So it's kind of silly to do that.
I mean, even I fell into that attitude a little, like, back in the Halo Call of Duty days. Well, Halo takes way more skill than Call of Duty. Call of Duty, you just spray them down, you shoot them in the leg, they die. Halo, you gotta hit that 4-shot, that 4BR, dude. Don't even get me started on that, because when you hit the 4-shot, you gotta go 4, because that's an insult back in the Halo days. I just 4-shotted you. I'm gonna let you know that I killed you in 4 shots. That's the absolute minimum that I needed to kill you, and I did it. That's how bad you are at Halo. But it turns out that Call of Duty is also very hard as well. And I've had my time. Like, my headphones are a prime example of me thinking I'm gonna be a professional gamer. I have Astros, bro. I'm pro. That's what the pros use. I have the same monitor that the pros use. I have the same headphones. I'm practically a pro. I played against professionals once in my life. I've told this story a bunch of times. But back in the Halo 3 days, Roy and Lunchbox and their coach Towie were like, "Yo, we're playing scrims, teams of 8. Hit us up if you want to get an invite. We're playing, like, with public." Which at the time was risky, because if you play with public, they can get your IP and then they can start DDoSing your modem and shit. Because that was a thing back in the day. Remember all that? Remember DDoSes?
Nope.
I mean, there's still a thing.
Yeah, but I got the invite. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to go play with some pros, these guys that I admire so much, like 5 years younger than me. And I get in the lobby. Second I'm in the lobby, people are making fun of me because I was ranked 35. Yo, you're not even a 50? What, you're 35? Are you serious, bro? And, like, everyone's just ripping on me. And I was taking it with a grain of salt because I knew I was trash.
I mean, you're not trash.
No, I was trash. And we start the game, CTF on the pit, favorite level. Let's rip some dicks. And then I was on the team with one of the pros, and the other two were on the other team. Can't remember. And I just remember I was just running, and I was like one of the plats, and I saw one of the other guys, and he had a snipe, and there's no way he's gonna hit that, and I'm dead. It's unbelievable how good they are at this game. And this is 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just unfathomable, because the people I played with were the people who were at my level. So, like, every now and then I'd win, and every now and then I'd lose. But we were all the same level because that's where our skill peaked.
You'd bump up, and then you get pushed back down.
Yeah. And so when you're playing with people who are exponentially higher level than you, it's mind-blowing how good they actually are. I couldn't, because with the people that I played with, oh man, that guy's got a sniper. He's probably going to hit me in 3 or 4 shots. But this is, he's just going to hit every shot. Even if he's not killing me with an instantaneous headshot, he's still hitting me in the body, and then I'm dead a second later.
Yeah.
They're playing it the most efficient you can possibly play.
Yeah, it was it was the most humbling experience. And I'm like, okay, I am never going. That was a tough one. That was a tough one. I'm not going to be a pro.
Look, just adapt to it.
Yeah. Yep.
Just adapt and work around it.
Yep. I still have a screenshot of like I took a picture of my screen. I was like, I'm playing with them. This is so cool.
But even, and this is I'm trying to segue now into probably the most juicy drama.
Yeah, we talk about how inclusive the SGC is, but we're talking about all the shitty parts of it.
Yeah, this is the juicy drama. So again, end of year. The end of year also ushers in the Capcom Cup. And the Capcom Cup is their yearly event for Street Fighter. Street Fighter V is still in full swing.
Capcom games.
No. We already had this conversation.
Don't make him mad again.
There's no other Capcom fighting game that is being played by real people at this point.
In the past, has it ever not been Street Fighter?
I mean, what's the point?
No, actually. The Capcom Cup is a Street Fighter tournament.
Okay.
There may be another game attached to it.
I was not aware of that.
But yeah, the Capcom Cup, it's got Ryu and everything on it. So, but yes, it's a Street Fighter tournament.
Okay.
And this year, apparently, it's starting a little early for some folks.
Yeah.
So the big knock is that this year the Capcom Cup is slated for I believe a 10 a.m. start, which is causing people to have to wake up early, and this has caused certain big wigs in the Street Fighter and the FGC community to complain, for lack of a better term. Justin Wong, who is probably the biggest household name in fighting games, not as good as he used to be, but he still has chops, and he's still qualified for Capcom Cup, and he has been one of the most vocal people complaining about this apparently early start. How they're expected to play for $250,000 in a day, and it's ridiculous that they should have to wake up that early. What's
been the start time in the past?
I'll be honest, I don't know for sure. My assumption is that it's typically been later, probably like closer to noon or after. And the major complaints are just having to wake up early in general, not desiring to get a good night's sleep. The other argument, which I guess I can put some stock in, is jet lag. There are a lot of international competitors flying from and just people domestic in the United States who are traveling, through time zones. And yes, jet lag is a thing. I think if anybody's ever traveled, they know it's a thing. So I get that, but I also don't entirely see it that way. And where you have people who are like Justin Wong who are complaining, you have people like Kenneth Bradley, another renowned player and friend of Justin Wong's, who feels quite the opposite, who thinks that people are being entitled by trying to even complain that this start time is too early, that waking up in the morning is too much of a hassle. And there has been a lot of butting of heads on Twitter. It's always entertaining to see these things happen on Twitter, because not only do you see the two people that are actually involved, but then you see the other, look, I'm going to be straight, like, because I'm a nobody. You see all the other nobodies trying to chime in with what they believe is the best course of action and what they think is for the best. And as with anything else in the time we live in, people are going to take extreme stances because everything is black and white, and people not realizing that we live in just a deep world of gray.
Has Capcom given a reason for that early start?
No, but they also, I don't think they have to. Like, this is it's their event. They're paying you money, if you win.
I see both sides of it.
I do. I do as well.
Like, it's because at one thing, like, Justin Wong brings up a lot of good points. Like, he's actually been like on a tweet storm about it. And a lot of people were saying, well, just go to bed earlier. It's simple. Just go to sleep.
Yeah.
And Justin had an interesting reply. He said, "Do you think if you were in Capcom Cup, you would be able to go to sleep early, knowing you had to fight for $250,000 the next day?" I don't think I would have a lot of trouble sleeping. On a personal level.
I get that argument.
Remember how nervous I got playing Smash in front of my friends at an amusement park in a tournament?
So here's the thing, though. Here's that we're not. Again, the people who enter Capcom Cup, they are people who qualified for this tournament. They are professionals.
Right.
Most, if not all, of the players are sponsored, and in some part, this is their profession.
Mm-hmm.
So. You've competed in large tournaments before. You've competed on stages before. I think that you should be prepared to again wake up. Now, mind you, Evo pools can start as early as 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't like it's crazy. I've had 8 a.m. pools, and I've had known players in those 8 a.m. pools with me. And they were there, and if they weren't, they were DQ'd. Like, it's not outside the extreme. Like, there's been 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and 10 a.m. pools at Evo for all sorts of games over the years. This isn't outside. This isn't crazy. So, yeah, like, on one hand, I get it, especially from the standpoint of the international players having to travel long distances. But this is also something that I think they should kind of be accustomed to, and if you're trying to play your best, I would hope that you're also going to prepare accordingly. So while I do understand both sides, if you held a gun to my head and told me pick a side, I would stand with K-Brad and be like, yeah, you're being a little entitled.
When
my thoughts.
That prize money is at stake, shouldn't matter what time you have to get up. It's like, it's not going to change anything.
I mean,
the money's at stake or it's not. It's
a lot more than they're usually competing for.
It's
like usually fighting game tournaments are like couple thou.
Yeah, it's
like the big ones, like maybe like
pool.
20 or 30.
Yeah, it's a very big pool, and not only is it a very big pool, but it also it can help you get sponsored if you aren't already.
Yeah,
I think winning Capcom Cup was Knuckle Deuce sponsored before he won Capcom Cup.
Well, he like famously he left Liquid. And then didn't sign with anyone. He was like supporting himself.
Oh yeah,
like
his sponsor was My Wallet.
Yeah. But did he leave Liquid after winning Capcom Cup?
I don't.
Because last year it was Mena RD, right?
Yeah.
And he's with someone. Rise? I think he's with Rise.
And he was with them before he won Capcom Cup. That much I know.
It's going to be Knuckle Dew Tokido in the finals, trust me.
You said it.
Every time there's a fighting game tournament and Knuckle Dew and Tokido are in the top 8, I message Ken and I say, "Yo, dog, I'm feeling it. It's gonna be Knuckle Dew and Tokido."
And a lot of times I'm like, I don't think Knuckle Dew's even in this tournament.
and then sometimes it's like, dude, they're already both in losers. It can happen. It can't happen if they're both in losers.
I don't know. Because I want to look at it like from a logistics standpoint and go, well, if the organizers want to end at 11 p.m. and not 2 a.m., then fine.
I'm absolutely on that side too, because sometimes watching Evo, like stuff like Evo, where it's West Coast, and I gotta work the next morning, dog. Like we're at like midnight, and it's like, all right, grand finals is starting soon, and that's double elimination. So like if they reset the bracket, we're talking a whole nother set. Like we're up until 1, 2 in the morning, and I'd really like to watch this like as it's happening, but I also need sleep.
Yeah.
And I imagine the players are exhausted.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is like
would they rather stay up until 2 a.m. or do they want to wrap it up by 11?
The FGC is in a weird place, especially when we talk Street Fighter V. Street Fighter V is the first game that really went full on eSports when it comes to fighting games, like full on. In fact, another point of drama with Street Fighter V is we're in the week leading up to Capcom Cup. It's this weekend. If you go play Street Fighter V right now, you go to boot up a match, you will notice that the characters are all donned with Capcom Cup or Red Bull logos.
Is the Urian one Is it really on his junk?
I don't know.
Because I saw a picture of it.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
The guy wears like
You
a
know-
bikini.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like an alternate costume for him, and it's his old. If you ever play Street Fighter 3, Urian, he literally just wears like a loincloth over his junky junk, and yeah, there's only
someone,
one
like-
place to put a logo.
I don't know if it was an actual picture, but I
Yeah,
saw it on
I don't
Twitter,
think-
and
I
someone
don't
put
think
the
it would
logo
be.
like right on his
But
dick.
that's the thing, like if you boot up Street Fighter 5 right now, it's loaded with advertisements.
Huh.
Like and it has not been met with a lot of like people are like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
I
like-
mean, you could say that Blizzard did the same thing with Overwatch League.
Yeah, you could.
Were there like ads in the maps or anything? Or?
But yeah, there's actually that's the thing is there's no ads in the maps, and there's also
True.
like unless you're wearing the costume, like this, you don't have a choice.
Right.
Like if I pick Ken, now Ken has the Capcom Cup logo on the back of his gi.
No matter what
Just for your casual
outfit,
play.
like even the
Yeah.
outfit, because there are
And
DLC
also,
outfits that you
as
can buy, right?
As you like when you like say you go to Street Fighter 5, you boot up a match. There's an advertisement, like a commercial style advertisement before it loads you.
Right.
Loads training mode.
That's a little much.
Yeah, it's loaded with it right now. Like I've watched some videos on Twitter of people like playing the game, and it's like went into training mode this morning. What the hell is this? And it's like a full advertisement trying to sell you the Capcom Cup DLC and like the winter DLC and all of that. So on one hand, I get it.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, it is again Street Fighter 5 full on esports.
Mhm.
The reason Sony put money into Street Fighter 5 is because they were like, we want this to be esports.
Yeah.
So it's the FGC has very much always been like a grassroots thing. They've always believed in, the players running things and the players making decisions. So esports is very, very different. It's a business. It's business. What is best for business? And the FGC is still very street level, and it still has its roots in dusty arcades.
So do the developers and company and corporate, like, are they doing a thing of like, we know what's best, or do they hire like consultants who are players?
Oh, I mean, I have no doubt that there's actual business consultants looking at like what is best.
But are
and
they
how-
player consultants?
There have been.
Yeah.
I know Combo Fiend, Peter Rosas, he was working with Capcom for a while,
Mhm.
but I also don't know how much pull he had.
Right.
He was famously quoted when Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, the
Mhm.
cursed game, was yet to be released. He
Mhm.
was quoted when people were asking about the absence of the X-Men characters in the game.
Yeah.
He was quoted as saying that characters are just functions. Magneto was really just a function. Playing as Magneto and liking to tri-dash and move real fast.
Well,
That's
you could do this
that's
with
just
another
a function.
character.
You could do that with Iron Man. And people lost it because they're like,
Yeah.
no, that's not why we like Magneto. We
Yeah.
like Magneto because it's Magneto.
Right.
Okay? We like Magneto because it's fucking Magneto.
Mhm.
Okay? We like Wolverine because it's fucking Wolverine. Not because he's a function, the claw function.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not why. So, and that was...
You could do the same thing with
so
a different
you can
character.
see that even in Combo Fiend was all he was a known member of the FGC, played Street Fighter and Marvel for years, and
Mhm.
people loved him. People loved watching him play. He's such a fun player,
Mhm.
and even he had to give the company line.
Right.
So it is what it is. It's a little disappointing,
Mhm.
but and turning back around, this whole start time, they do want people to watch. That's why they're putting it on, is so people can watch. The reason, and that's that's the thing, is that the players who are complaining, they have to understand your prize pool is that large because people are watching.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to understand that this has to be played at a certain time
Mhm.
so that people around the world can watch. As many people around the world can watch as possible. That's why we planned it for this time.
Mhm.
So, yeah, you better show up at 10 a.m.
Because when you mentioned this before we started, my first thought was, yeah, but like, they don't got to show all the matches. Like if there's 32 contestants, you just who cares about like the first elimination?
Yo, that's
so,
vital.
So, like in my head, I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, no, people are gonna want to watch every round.
Yeah, yeah, especially like if it's depending on how the bracket's seated.
Mm-hmm.
Like what do you mean to tell me that Knuckle Dew and Taquito are off stream? Like that's ridiculous. You have to stream that.
Yep. I mean, these are the 32 best players in the world. People want to watch all these matches.
Mm-hmm.
People want to see upsets. Like they want to see what craziness is going to go down.
When I look at a tournament bracket, like for round 1, there's 8-10 matches going on. I'm not going to watch all of them because they're all happening at the same time.
Theoretically.
But yeah, they would do that one by one.
I remember back in the day, like when I was big in the Halo competitive scene, like, oh, hey, we have this going on the main stage. And then, but it turns out these 2 other teams that you're also really interested in, well, the main stage is taken up right now. And it's not like they can wait. Halo matches took a hell of a long time to play. So it's like, no, they're off stream. They're playing and I would just like check Twitter and people would be like, such and such won this match 3, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of a bummer sometimes. But nowadays now they have like multiple streams.
Mm-hmm.
It's, where it's just like, I can't even remember like what they call them, but it's just like, Evo stream 1 and here's stream 2
I was at an Evo like watch party with a group of my friends this past Evo, and we had 3 TVs set up with a game, 3 different streams on a TV, so that everybody could watch whatever game they wanted to watch. And no one wanted to watch Tekken, and so I left.
Not the biggest fan of Tekken, but I respect I respect your devotion.
It's so fun to watch.
It is
so fun to watch.
I will.
Tekken 7 I think is the best Tekken, and I implore people to watch it.
I will watch Tekken. I'm just bad at it's one of the, it's like Fortnite. I'll watch people play Fortnite. I do not care to play it.
No, I mean I get that. Tekken's a daunting game.
Yeah,
to play and learn.
Most fighting game. I mean, the most I've played fighting games recently is when we went to quarters. Ken and I played. I got to play Third Strike for the first time in my life, and it was a lot. I got to share it with Ken, and he let me win a couple times, and it felt really good. And
that's not true. I never let anybody win.
It's true. I saw him go ham on an 11-year-old in Mortal Kombat 2.
I was trying to hit him with fatalities. I was trying to practice fatalities on him.
He would beat the kid, and then he puts a quarter in for the kid.
All right, let's go. I was paying this kid to play against me.
All he wanted to do was hit the friendship.
That's actually, yes. That's all I wanted to do. Johnny Cage's friendship, and it would not work. And I don't understand. I was trying to be friends.
But I got to play Third Strike with Ken.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun because I've wanted to play Third Strike for a lot because I love watching. But like, it's a beautiful game.
Yes.
And we talked about it a lot last time with like the donkey kick and all that stuff. And I got to wine glass it. I wine glassed the joystick, so I was trying to be pro. You got to hold it like this. This is how you hold it. You wine glass it instead of playing like this.
Gross.
Yep. I was
Why
trying
would you?
I was trying to imitate Justin Wong. Trying to do my best.
Hands don't do that.
You got to feather the buttons.
It's a ball. So
it was a lot of fun.
So it becomes wrist movement and not hand movement.
It was one of those like I can put all my money into this one game tonight, and I wouldn't mind doing that. But I should probably try and play maybe a couple other games. So I had to drag Ken away from it. But then he smoked. He didn't smoke me, but like, there's a barcade called Quarters in Hadley,
Mass.
And it was the first time I've ever been there. It was a really neat place. And we also played NBA Jam. I was keeping up for the most part. Last like minute, Ken ran away with it though.
Yo, some of those sports games are garbage.
Yeah,
because what was it?
Most are.
What's the one we had in our mall? What was the name of that place?
Tilt. Yeah,
Tilt had one of those football games.
Blitz.
I put in my money. I played like for 3 minutes, and then it was like, all right, put in more money.
Yeah, to play another quarter, you got to.
Well, that's how all the midway sports games were.
Oh, yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah,
like you had to pay per quarter.
It's like, no, I play until I die or lose. It's like I'm winning right now. I have to pay more money.
That ain't it, fam.
Yeah.
To play four quarters.
Houston Oilers.
No thanks.
Yo, Blitz gave me a messed up interpretation of football too, because I had no idea that you couldn't slam into someone before the ball got into their hands. So when I go to play a real football game, it calls me for pass interference. Are you kidding me? What is this?
I have very vivid memories of the Blitz announcer saying a lot of players' names wrong. Like Wayne Corbett from the New York Jets. He would go, Wayne Corbett! And I'm like, it's not, I don't think he's that French. I don't think it's Corbett.
Yep.
I'm 12, but I don't think it's Crabbe.
Yeah, he got paid to do it.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun playing Third Strike. And I played Rampage, and I played NBA Jam in 1941, and other stuff. I can't remember. We've been talking for a long time now. We should probably finish up. We have some Auntie Donna videos to watch. And it's funny, my notes for this episode are Auntie Donna and Tim Wakefield, because I didn't want to forget the Tim Wakefield story. Anyways, Ken, thanks for coming on, man. It was just fun to talk about FGC drama. This is just the drama that, like, the little bits, like Ken said, the FGC is very inclusive. Like, I've seen like pictures of like Ken with all of his bros, and I'm like, oh, that seems so nice.
Oh yeah, I just had a.
There's one like the other day.
There was this. It was a Soul Calibur. What Soul Calibur are we on now?
7?
7?
No.
I don't
5?
know. You played it at PAX.
Soul Calibur 6. Yes, Soul Calibur 6. I don't even know which Soul Calibur I've been playing, but no, Soul Calibur 6, and so I drove up to Waltham, Mass, and it's about an hour and a half away. And when I got there, I drove up there to meet one friend who I hadn't seen in a long time, and I ended up running into a lot of old friends that I initially met back when I played Soul Calibur 2. And, you know, some of them have, you know, kids now, and some of them are married, and it was actually pretty crazy to see everybody in the same space again.
All people that you met through fighting games.
Yeah. Like some of my best friends are people like one of my best friends, Tim. We've kept contact through all the years, and I met him playing Soul Calibur 2 and then playing Tekken 5, and yeah, it was that picture. Like looking at the picture again, I was just like, wow, that actually like that happened. That's actually pretty crazy. So
it's neat. It's good shit. Good stuff. Excuse me. Feeling relaxed right now. I'm just feeling good. I like talking about fighting games. This is a lot of fun. Ken, you're a hero. We gave you no time. You went home. You went to work, then you went home, then you came right here. It's baller. People like me, I got to work from home today, so I was just like, I'm in my underwear all day.
you're
I
in
guess
the
I'll
underwear
get
right now.
I get it. You didn't have to tell them, but
Hey,
here we are.
peek behind the curtain.
I don't even have a response for that. I swear to God, I'm not in my underwear. This was fun. Let's do it again. Hashtag bring back LCO. Fighting games. Check out. I don't have to advertise for Capcom Cup. I'm so used to my normal spiel.
Play a fighting game. Play a
fighting game.
Go pick up Smash. Play some Smash. Invite your 3 best friends or your 3 worst friends.
Yep.
Play some Smash.
Pick a sword boy and then just go at it.
Go grab a fighting game. There's one out there for everybody.
Yep.
If you want any advice, just ask.
Yep.
I'll point you to it.
Just make sure you're playing the right fighting game with the highest skill gap in the right settings.
Yep.
How do I unlock Waluigi in Smash Bros?
Damn!
Was it Zach?
Don't.
Zach hit us with this baller because Zach was like, "Yo, how do I unlock characters fast?" And we're like, "This is how you do it."
Uh-huh.
And like an hour later, Zach was like, "Hey, so it said I unlocked anyone. It's just weird though because it never told me I unlocked Waluigi." And Colin was like, "So that's how it's gonna be."
Colin's like, "Oh, so we're still doing this."
It was great. It was a good one. But yeah. I've got the Waluigi assist trophy a couple times so far. So,
Wow.
yeah, he comes out and he stomps on me and then hits me with a tennis racket because that's the only game that he's in. That is going to do it for this week. Ken, thanks so much for coming on. Until next time, I have been JR.
I'm Alex.
I'm Ken.
And this has been episode 352 of Opinions. I'm like winded. Of Opinions May Vary.